Greetings dear students, I am here with my new video lecture on problem plays to help you with your studies. Sidney Grundy used this term in a disparaging sense for the intellectual drama of the 90s, which he believed was marching to its doom in the hands of a coterie of enthusiastic eccentrics. This does not furnish a certain basis or criterion because drama always presupposes the existence of conflict in which human destinies are involved and invariably presents the issues in the form of a concrete problem which calls for a solution. But the issue of a problem play is not to give solution, but as Eric Bentley, he was a renowned critic, he said that these plays are justified on the word problem on the ground that the plays end with the question mark. He says that dramatist's business is to state his problem clearly and effectively and not to present. But Eric Bentley says that dramatist's business is to state his problem clearly and effectively and not to present a ready-made solution. Now, let us have look at the backdrop of this kind of drama. Now, when come to these problem plays upheld the principles of equality, freedom, and justice. These problem plays were a new experiment in form and technique. They dispensed conventional devices and expedients of the theatre. And the dramas which were popular in the times of problem plays were very cautious and hesitating and tentative treatment of real life and its problem. But problem play made bold and outspoken topics and criticism of society. Now, according to that stated, problem play is the presentation of a contemporary question through realistic technique. From the dramatic point of view, the first half of 19th century was almost completely barren. Many of the major poets had tried drama, but none of them had achieved any success. But when in around 1870, or we can say in 1865, T.W. Robertson came with his drama Society, Caste in 1867, Play in 1868, School in 1869. In all these dramas, we can say that he was the pioneer of problem play. He was majorly a writer of comedy, but his ideas were of a serious theme which was underlying the humor. His characters and dialogues were of a more natural kind. And now we come to another writer of this problem play, Henry Arthur Jones. His two masterpieces under the problem play are The Triumph of the Philistines and Michael and His Lost Angels. Henry Arthur Jones deals with the problems of man's spiritual life. Jones realized that if drama were to survive and advance, it must go beyond the themes. Huh? Henry Arthur Jones. Henry Arthur Jones deals with the problems of man's spiritual life. Jones realized that if drama were to survive and advance, it must go beyond the themes of sex and it must depict man's religious faith and spiritual life. His two masterpieces are The Triumph of the Philistine and Michael and His Lost Angels. He felt that the drama should present not romance or spectacle but real life. Jones was a skilled craftsman with real sense of theatre and the ability to create effective scene. The next playwright is A.W. Pinero. He had excellence in plot construction. His successor improved themselves by his example. His first outstanding success was Sweet Lavender, and it was published in 1888. इसे हाथ पर का दाग बुझाने लगता है, इसे नहीं बुझाता है उतना।
तो पहुंचने की बोलने लगी।
A.W. Pinero, he is known for his excellence in plot construction. His successor improved themselves by his example. His first outstanding success was Sweet Lavender, which was published in 1888. It is a less sentimental comedy. In the profligacy too, he chose a more serious theme but destroyed the whole effect of his story by surrendering to the popular demand for a happy ending. Now, during the development of these, now came the influence of Ibsen. It was not until the last decades of 19th century when the influence of Ibsen was making itself very obvious, and it was strongly felt now that Ibsen has torn down the veil which had kept the subject of sex in safe obscurity. In widening the scope of the drama, Ibsen, then Shaw, Galsworthy and Granville, H.G. Barker, they were paramount importance of this genre problem play. But the weakness of these new plays were it was obviously realistic intellectual drama, but it lacked anything which can fire the imagination. It lacked poetry in the widest sense, and greatest danger was that it might lapse into mere social photography. The greatest dramatists like Shaw and Galsworthy rose above these limitations. Now we come to G.B. Shaw. When we name problem play, G.B. Shaw is one of the most important writer who has developed these problems play to the skies. He was under the influence of Ibsen. He wrote plays which made thoughts and ideas. He made thoughts and ideas flow. And under the influence of G.B. Shaw's drama throbs with thought. In the long hot summer of drama, he came as a gush of cool wind enlivening the stage which was dyed and dull so far. He thundered on the stage as iconoclast. He is considered as iconoclast, and he has debunked the traditional ideas. He has debunked traditional ideas and institution. Now the next playwright which we are taking is G.B. Shaw. Under the influence of Ibsen, Shaw wrote plays which made thoughts and ideas flow on and through the stage. Under his influence, and we can say he is considered as fresh wind or a gush of cool wind in the long hot summer of drama. He has enlivened the stage which was dead and dull so far. It is said he thundered on the stage as an iconoclast and debunked many traditional ideas and institutions. He came to the limelight as a saying and sowing the opposite of prevalent notions. He was a playwright, a realist and anti-romantic. His play Arms and the Man. In this play, he depicts the reality of war. He substitutes the romantic soldier to the mercenary who knows fear and hunger. In Mrs. Warren's Profession, which was published in 1894, he replaces the romantic courtesan with a woman who is continuing the profitable but unpleasant trade of prostitution. In Widowers' Houses, Shaw dealt with slum landlords. In The Philanders 1893, which was published, and Canada, You Never Can Tell, he dramatized respectively the new woman of the pseudo Epsonites, the marriage of a socialist person, and the new parent and the old. Now, uh, the next playwright is John Galsworthy. He also presented the problems of modern life. His plays are ask so many questions, and they are compelling us to think about justice. The next writer and playwright which we are going to consider is John Galsworthy. He wrote almost 30 plays, and nearly all of them are problem play. His favorite method is to stage two contrasting groups, as in loyalties, and let the audience weigh their conflict claims as in a balance. In explanation, he wrote, every grouping of life has its inherent moral, and the business of the dramatist is to bring that moral poignantly to the light of the day. Plot on story element was to him of no consequence. He said, take care of character. For him, character was very important. He said, if you take care of character, and action and dialogue will take care of themselves. Thus, in Island Frasier, which was published in 1904, and The Pigeon, which was published in 1922, he dramatized a problem well known to charitable society the world over. On one side is a group of never-do-wells who insist on their right to go to the devil in their own ways. On the other, a few earnest but misguided people who try to change these wild sheep into tame sheep. Or as one of them said, try to make rooks white by washing their skins. Important writer of this genre was H.G. Barker. He was one of the versatile playwright of this genre. He was a dramatist, he was a actor, producer and manager, and was responsible for introducing the public the work of Shaw and Galsworthy. He was also a Shakespearean critic of considerable standing. His notable works are The Voysey Inheritance, Waste, The Madras House, The Secret Life. To sum up, I can say T.W. Robertson, Henry Arthur Jones, and A.W. Pinero did much to prepare the ground for the new drama of ideas and social purpose. Under their influence, the themes of drama became the problem of religion, on youth and age, of labor and capital, and above all, of sex. G.B. Shaw, John Galsworthy, and H.G. Barker were the dramatists who made a vital contribution to the problem play. They censored the existing social system into rigid laws and stateless codes of conduct and belief. I hope you will get all the points of the problem plays which I have described in this video. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section or you can directly ask me on my WhatsApp number. Thank you for listening and watching the video.